You hear a lot about lock-in culture and becoming the best version of yourself before the end of the year and the beginning of 2026. In fact, it can be very overwhelming. We have the winter season coming. There are those moments where you feel like you just want to stay in bed all day and you don't want to achieve the goals that you know you want to achieve. Well, I'm here to change that and to give you 10 actionable ways that you can actually lock in and become the best version of yourself even during the winter. Hello and welcome back to my channel. If you've not watched my videos before, then hi, my name is Fleur. This is your space for all things self-development where we focus on growth, mindset and becoming the best version of yourself. So welcome to this space. Step number 1 is to create a winter routine that is specific for you and the way that you want to live your life. When I say create a routine, that doesn't then mean that I want you to go on TikTok, on Instagram or even YouTube to see what everybody else is doing with their routine. While I was scrolling through YouTube, I just saw 101 videos of people saying, this is how you lock in and this is how you create the routine of your dreams and this is how you do that. And although I love to create that kind of content, at the same time I'm very aware of how overwhelming it can be. And so when I say create a winter routine, I really just mean you need to create it for you. Everybody's life is so different. We simply cannot look at what someone else is doing and then think that that is the way that we then need to live our life. You might be going to school, but then the person who is creating that routine maybe isn't. You might have a 9-to-5 job, but the person that's creating that routine might be at uni. You might not be doing any of those things and you might be doing something completely different, and the person creating that routine doesn't even take that into consideration. And so the best way that you can take your own life into consideration is to just sit down and think, what kind of routine do I want? So for example, with me, I have a part-time job currently, and so the days where I'm at work look very different to the days where I'm not at work, where I'm maybe focusing on social media and studying in my own free time. And so I will take that into consideration. I'll know, okay, on work days, I'm waking up at 6, I'm pretty much out of the house by 7:15, and so I'm not really doing any of my habits. But on the days I'm not at work, I'm still waking up early. I'm maybe going to the gym, I'm journaling, I'm thinking of the different things that I want to do in that day and trying to make sure I'm going through all my habits that I wouldn't necessarily be able to do when I'm at work. And so for me, I cannot follow someone else's routine of what to do in the morning because their routine does not look the way I want my routine to look. And so the best thing you can do is, like I said, create that routine for yourself. Sit down and choose some micro habits, some things that you would like to put into your day-to-day that will help you to start off your day in the best way possible. Number 2 is to make a winter playlist. I am a music girl. I literally speak my feelings through my music, whether it's the songs I send to friends or loved ones, or even the way that I want to romanticize my own life. I will do this through music. It's very easy. What I want you to do is I want you to think of a mood or a time of year or whatever it might be, or even a goal that you're trying to achieve, and make a playlist surrounding that. So for example, a winter playlist. I want you to just make a playlist that feels right for you. If you cannot be bothered to do this, there are many people that have already made the kind of playlist that you might be looking for. And so just go on Spotify and search up winter playlist and find a playlist that fits for you. So just take some time. It might take a few hours, but it'll be worth it because you'll then really want to gravitate towards that playlist and choose songs that specifically fit for the time of life that you're in and the season that you're in and the kind of things that you want to achieve and the person that you want to be. Everybody is different, and so there's going to be different songs that will feel right for you that might not feel right for other people. But that is the excitement of life, being able to romanticize it in your own specific way. Tip number 3 is to stay disciplined with your goals, not motivated. There is a big difference between motivation and discipline, and again, I've made several videos on the difference between the two, which I will recommend. If you're waiting to be motivated to achieve your dreams, they are never going to come true because that motivation is never going to hit you. Life is not linear. There's going to be times where you're falling, where you're tripping up, where you're really strong, where you're not strong, where you're weak, where you feel like you're failing, when you're not failing. And so if you're always waiting for that next wave of motivation to hit you, that next urgency to create that life that you want, it's never going to come. Because for me, for example, I would say I maybe actually feel motivated maximum 1 or 2 times a year, and that's not a lot. And those like waves of motivation will not be as strong as I want them to be. And then before I know it, I'm feeling demotivated again because something has been said to me or something has happened or a thing that I felt about myself has occurred. And so it's much easier to give up on your goals because you don't feel motivated than it is to say, you know what, I'm going to be disciplined and I'm going to show up for myself regardless. We all know that we can't rely on motivation, but we don't want to acknowledge the fact that in order to achieve our goals, we have to be disciplined. And being disciplined is not easy. If it was easy, then all of these people that are creating their dream lives would have told you it was easy, but in fact, it's not. I've always said to my friends and to myself that the things that we want the most in life are going to be the hardest things to achieve because that's what we want. And so it's never going to be easy. What we want won't be easy because the universe or God, whatever it is that you believe in, is always going to be trying to test you to see whether you're right for that set path. And so you will hit consistent walls, not because it's not right for you or not because you're not good enough, but because your self-belief is what's going to create your future. And so if you don't believe that you're worthy or meant to be on that path, it will not happen. And when you do eventually hit the wall, if your self-belief is not strong enough, you'll back down. But if it is, and if you are stronger, then all the things that happen to you, you will keep going and get back even stronger. And so that is why it's very important for us to focus on discipline rather than motivation. Number 4 is to lean into cozy evenings, if you can. I know that not everybody's lifestyle is the same. There might be people here watching this video that have night shifts. So I'm not going to say, yeah, romanticize the evenings or have cozy evenings if you physically can't. But if you can, lean into them. Okay, it gets dark after 5 p.m. Why are we complaining about that? It's cozy. Let's just lean into it. I think if we always complain as human beings, which we do, specifically if you're from the UK, you're always going to find something to complain about. I'm known as a very cheerful person at work. I'm literally the person that loves love. I love everything. I don't hate anything or anyone. I just have a extreme amount of love for the world, and I just love love. Like everything about it, everything about life, everything about people, everything about the excitement of the world around me. I love it. And I think that this is something that I want to be able to spread to other people. It's why I started a YouTube channel, because the ability to know that I've even helped one person who's watched these videos means much more to me than the time and the effort that's put into these videos. And in all honesty, if we are just positive and we think about things positively, we get that energy back. Whenever I've been in moments of my life where I think, why does this happen to me? Or why is it always me? Or why this, why that? There's always bad things that then follow from that attitude. However, whenever I'm saying I'm so lucky, or good things always happen to me, or the universe works in my favor, good things are happening to me because I'm allowing myself to receive the right kind of energy rather than the negative energy. This is coming from someone who always feels like she has to be productive, and that if I'm not productive, then I'm not working towards my dream life. But when I am resting and when I am taking these slow moments where I can just be with my thoughts, I'm coming up with ideas that I wouldn't have come up with if I was consistently going go, 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 and having that mindset of always achieving something. So that's why it's important to just lean into the cozy evenings and allow yourself to have the rest that you deserve. Number 5 is to keep exercising. I will scream it from the rooftops, but exercising is one of the only things that keeps me motivated, especially in the winter season. It is not easy. It is not easy. Anyone that tells me that it's easy to get into the mindset of exercising, anyone that says that to you is lying. It's actually probably one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Find the discipline to consistently go to the gym or to consistently do something that I know is right for my body. And even if I don't feel like going to the gym, like for example this morning, I'll just do a 30-minute workout at home. Who's going to stop you? Because I think we have a lot of excuses, specifically when it comes to New Year's. I hear a lot of people saying, I'll just wait till January 1st, or, my membership doesn't start till January. Then it will start, then they'll go for 2 weeks time, and then they'll quit after about 2-3 weeks. It's like you always see a spur in the amount of people that are going to the gym. Like, for example, whenever I used to go to the gym in January, I used to really hate it because there'd be people that I didn't know, right? Within 2 weeks, all of those people were gone. And that was back to the people that I was familiar with always being there at the time that I was there. And I always thought that it was really sad, because the thing is with New Year's resolutions, I just don't really believe in them. I think if you're going to have goals, have them at any time of the year. Why is it that we have to wait for the new year? I think really more than anything, that just goes to show that as a person and as a society, we're always trying to put things off because we don't want to keep ourselves accountable to them. If that goal really meant something to you, do you think you would have left it another 2-3 months to wait for the new year? Or do you think you just would have started it now? Which usually means that your why is not strong enough. Maybe your why for why you want to go to the gym or why you want to exercise is too shallow. You need to try and find a reason that's going to make you get up in the morning. For me, it's because I want to be stronger. I have always wanted to be stronger. I've always wanted to be able to do things that I hadn't felt like I was able to do when I was younger. I always used to hate it when the teachers would say, I need a boy to help me to do this. I wanted to be that boy. I wanted to be the one strong enough to carry all the chairs. And I always pushed myself to be that person. I want to be strong. I want to feel strong, and I want to feel powerful. And in doing that, going to the gym is one of those things that is very important for me. Not only that, but for my health, for my serotonin levels, it makes me feel better about myself. It makes me feel like I can do anything, because if I do that one hard thing in the morning, then I can do anything else I want to do in that day. And so for me, I have my why. I do have an entire video where I talk about how you can become more confident in the gym. I made this video maybe about a year and a half ago, and I do have to say that like everything I said in that video, I still follow to this day, because I still have moments where I'm in the gym and I'm feeling very insecure, or I hate it when people are like watching me work out and I'm like, oh, I don't like this. I just want to like be in my own bubble, in my own space with like no one else around me, have like a private gym. That would be like my dream come true. If I had a private gym, like, you know what, I'm rich when I have a private gym. That's on my bucket list, a private gym. Number 6 is to lock in with self-development content. I could very easily thrive off of only watching self-development content, and to be honest, I do. What I will always stay true to myself with is to at least consume as many self-development videos as I can in a day or even in a week. This is the time of year where more than ever we can grow as an individual, and I get so many people ask me all the time, like, how are you so wise? How do you know this? Not only does it just come from my own experience, but it just comes from the fact that I promise you 90% of the time, I am listening to self-development content. And I will admit, over the past year, I have been listening to self-development content less, because I think that after about 2 to 3 years of consistently consuming it, a lot of it is starting to sound the same to me, which is when I know I'm getting to a stage where I know that my mindset is already fitted into one of someone that even makes these kind of videos, which is why I myself make these videos. And so now when I'm watching these videos, I'm doing it for research purposes, so that I'm then able to help more people on this channel, and for my videos to give more value to the people that are watching them. But more than anything, I love being able to remind myself of the kind of way that I want to think and the kind of person that I want to be. And so if you've never really gotten into self-development content before, which you're currently watching a self-development video, so you're doing pretty well if you ask me, I would definitely recommend it, because I think that you won't notice the effect it has on you until you start thinking in that way. When you consume content, you are basically allowing your brain to start thinking in those ways and in those patterns. So let's say, for example, you're always consuming crime content, or even there's many studies that show that boys that play lots of violent, aggressive video games and that's all they do will start to feel and think in that way. It's the same with crime documentaries. It's the same with self-development content. Whatever you're consuming becomes you, which is why it's very important that you analyze the people that you follow on Instagram, the kind of people that you're surrounded by, because it works the same way with the 5 people that we're around the most of the time, with the people that we become, and also the content that you're consuming, the books that you're reading, everything, even the music that you're listening to, the kind of vibes that come along with that. If you're listening to depressing music, you're more likely to be a more sad person, and so it's very important that you stay cautious of that. Number 7 is to prioritize your mental health. Winter can be a time of year where a lot of people will get SD, which is seasonal depression, and the most important thing for you to be able to navigate this is to just listen to the thoughts and feelings that are running through your brain instead of ignoring them. We have the capacity to be our own best friend, but we choose not to be because we're scared of the reality of our own character and of our own personality, and so it's easier to confide in other people, even though those other people do not know or have access to as much information about ourselves as we do. And so the best thing that you can do in this situation is to just sit down with yourself and ask, what's wrong? Like, why are you thinking these things? Where have these patterns come from? What personal trauma do you have that may have caused those patterns? Journal about it, meditate it. If you don't really want to journal about it, put some notes in your note app, or simply just have a conversation with yourself out loud. I know you might find it insane and you might feel crazy, but I do this with myself all the time. I'll just think like, why are you thinking that way, Flower? Like, why are you overthinking that? I overthink consistently, and so for me, it's like if I notice myself overthinking, I will physically out loud say to myself, where has this pattern come from? Why am I thinking this way? Okay, I found the pattern. I found the specific event that made me think this way. How can I make sure that that doesn't affect me in the future? How can I make sure that the things that people may have said to me in the past, or the things that people may have done to me in the past, or the things that I may have said or done to myself in the past will not affect me moving forward? And that doesn't mean to say that I'm a perfect human being and that when I do this, it works every single time, because it doesn't. You will have to keep doing this over and over and over and over and over again until it sticks. I want you to think of your negative self-beliefs as a path. That is a path that you've made very easy to walk down. If you want to create a new path in your brain, it's going to be difficult to make it. And so over time, you're going to have to make that path easier to walk down than the one that you'd initially made, which is the one of your negative self-belief. And so if you think that it's going to take just a day or a few weeks or a few months to fix your patterns, you are wrong. It's tough love, and I think that matters more than just being like, oh, it's easy, because it's not. Self-development is not easy, and it's going to cause you to have sometimes more pain than just choosing to stay ignorant, which is why a lot of people say they don't want to go to therapy or they don't want to better themselves. Once you've embarked on the journey, you will see the progress that you so badly want to see. Number 8 is to get sunlight when you can. Obviously, vitamin D is very important for us, and when we don't have it, we can be deficient of it, which can look like just feeling tired and fatigued, and even affect our own skin and other personal things as well in our own life. And so whenever you can, try and get sun. And there are other ways that you can do this if you physically can't get sun, if you're in a place where you can't get sun. I mean, I think in the UK, I've not seen sun in like a few weeks, I'm not even lying. And so there are specific things that you can buy which will fake that sunlight. However, I do think that if you ever can be in the sun, then definitely try your hardest to be in the sun, because it will help you to feel a little bit more energized and to get back that life that you're so desperately trying to get back into yourself. Number 9 is to treat yourself with cozy winter rituals. This looks like having rituals for things that you wouldn't usually do in the summertime, like for example, taking a bath, making a hot drink. This could be a hot chocolate or a herbal drink, watching cozy films in the evening, lighting candles, which you can see I don't know where, oh, there we go. I love lighting candles. It's my favorite thing. Candles are one of my favorite things in the world. I love them and they're very peaceful for me. So lighting candles, having blankets, which I have like many on my bed right now, having like heated blankets, which is even better, wearing cozy clothes, having these specific rituals which get you excited for the winter season. I am going to be making a romanticizing winter video. I did recently make a romanticizing Christmas video with one of my best friends. However, we thought that it would be good to make more of a winter based one so that you can then romanticize the season. So stay tuned for that, because that will be coming out more towards the start of winter, probably around end of December, January time, where we're going to be helping you to find ways to romanticize the season that so many people hate, but in my opinion and also her opinion, is one of the best seasons to experience. Number 10 is to plan something that you can look forward to. I definitely think that when you have things in your calendar, which this is my calendar here, it's a Taylor Swift calendar obviously because I'm obsessed with Taylor Swift. I have several things that I'm really looking forward to this season. Putting those things into your calendar and making sure that you've always got something to look forward to is very important, because if you're staying inside every single day and you're talking to no one but yourself or the wall, you're going to start to feel insane. And so it is important to get yourself out, to go up to people that you haven't gone up to before, make friends, confront uncomfortable situations, put yourself out of your comfort zone, allow yourself to be a new different version of yourself, allow yourself to be sociable. We like to attach summertime to being more social and to being more of like a social butterfly. However, arguably, I do think that there are so many cozy social moments that you can have with friends and loved one in the wintertime, more so than the summertime. And I think it's definitely a more intimate time of year. And so in that same breath, if there are things that you want to plan in order to be excited for this time of year, then definitely do that. Anyways, that now brings me to the end of this video as we've gone through our 10 tips. If you enjoyed this video, then please let me know down below in the comments one thing that you learned and one thing that you want to share with me that you do to try and help yourself to lock into 2026. I've got lots of fun locking in for 2026 kind of videos coming. I'm going to be doing my 25 lessons I learned in 2025, and then also a mood board video, and then potentially a Christmas vlog. So stay tuned for all of those videos and hit the subscribe button so that you can get notified when I post videos. I post videos every single Sunday at 12 p.m. So I will see you next Sunday. Bye bye, my lovelies.